So recently, there have been major arguments on social media within the Pentecostal circle based on two major topics. The first topic is the hypergrace teaching, and the second is the prosperity gospel. So today, I'm going to speak on both, but I'm going to start with the hypergrace teaching. So to start with, I have a question. Why the prefix? Why the hyper? Is it that the grace of God is not large or big enough that we are trying to add hyper so as to explain something else? I don't really understand. Well, but that being said, now let's go back to the Bible. Let's get this clear. We are all saved by grace through faith in Christ Jesus. And it is not of works, lest any man should boast. So I believe we all agree that no one is saved by works. Of course not. We are all saved by grace. Let's also double down to what Titus 2, verse 11 says. Titus 2, 11 and 12 says, "For the grace of God that bringeth salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us to deny worldly lust and ungodliness, and that we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world." So, what does the grace of God do? It teaches. And what does it teach? It says, deny ungodliness and live soberly and embrace what? Godly living. It's that simple. That is the grace of God. So I find it very disturbing when certain people who promote hyper grace, they use extreme examples. Example, you will hear somebody who is teaching hyper grace say, even if you are on a woman fornicating, when the rapture happens, you are going straight to heaven. Why use an extreme immoral example to justify a holy teaching? I think it's disgusting, to say the least. Grace is grace. Now, while I believe that God can save to the uttermost, and He does, because God's grace is elastic, yes, He is the one that leaves the 99 and go for the one that is lost. So, what does grace do for a believer? It will always bring you back. No matter how far you strayed, right? The grace of God will ensure you come back to your senses. Just like the prodigal son, he left his father's house, he squandered everything. A time came when he came back to his senses and he said, I'm going back to my father's house. That's what grace does to a believer. It will surely bring you back. It will always search for you. So I think we should focus actually on salvation and what Christ came to do. You know why? Because at salvation, right, we are justified, right? Then we receive sanctification by what? By mind renewal. Then we shall be glorified on the last day. Let's focus on that.